Yo, what up?
Yes, sir. My guy Wave, you got 1 second?
Not really, man. I'm actually working with a client right now.
That's crazy, bro. I'm not getting any signal in my Pro Tools.
Man, I wish I could help you troubleshoot, but I actually just put a YouTube video up all about troubleshooting. You should check that out.
Yeah, I saw that the other day, but I'm just not getting any signal to my mic. I got it plugged in. I just don't know where it go.
Listen, I ain't got time to walk you through all this right now, but I got a lot of videos on my YouTube channel that'll help you out with this. So I got to get back to my client, man.
I get you. I just can't watch a video right now. I got a client too.
Listen, you probably should just tell your client to call me.
Hey man, somebody said you don't understand signal flow. Well, let me show you something. What's up, audio engineers, producers, artists, anybody with a recording setup, man? I'm Wavy Wayne from WavyWayne.com. This channel is all about helping you to record and mix better and faster. Today, we're going to be breaking down a really simple concept. It's going to be signal flow. Now, when I first learned signal flow, it was super hard because I was at Full Sail and we was talking about signal flow through analog consoles, and we had to memorize all the schematics and diagrams and stuff like that. I ain't going to put y'all through that. Today, it's going to be a whole lot easier. Signal flow for the home studio is pretty simple, but knowing it and understanding the signal flow can help you to record better, mix better, and also troubleshoot faster when and if you have any trouble or problems in the studio. So let's just go ahead and break down the signal flow chain for a home studio. First thing first, man, the first point of the signal most of the time is going to be one of these. Now, do we know what this is, Mike? It's a microphone, whatever. This is a microphone, okay? Now, this is going to be the start of our signal, and microphones create a analog signal as we are recording. Now, some microphones may require that you use some phantom power, some don't, right? If it's a condenser microphone, it may need phantom power. If it's a tube microphone, it may have its own power supply that you need to connect and turn on, okay? But this is going to be the first point of our signal. Actually, the voice, maybe. That's the first signal, right? But once you get into the microphone, then you have an XLR cable connected to the microphone, which carries the microphone signal, still analog, from the mic down through this XLR cable into something like this. Now, this is an audio interface. Doesn't matter if you don't have the same interface. It doesn't matter. They all work the same way. The job of the interface is to convert that analog signal into a digital signal that the computer can read so that you can start to record and mix your digital audio inside your DAW. So again, we go from the microphone through our XLR. Once we hit the interface, the audio interface, that analog signal gets converted into a digital signal. Now, once that digital signal comes through, you probably have like a USB connector or something like that on your interface. You take that USB out of the interface and connect it to your computer. Now, let's jump inside our DAW to check out the signal flow that's happening inside the DAW. All right, so here I am inside of a Pro Tools session, and again, it doesn't matter what DAW you're going to be using. It really doesn't. Most of the signal flows are going to be the same. Now, on this track, I just got it coming in from my audio interface. The first point that signal is going to hit is the input of the track. So you find the input path selector of the track that you want to bring that signal into, and whatever connector, let's say if I plug this into interface mic line 2, that's what I want to choose so that my mic comes into mic line 2. Now, that is the starting point for that signal inside of our DAW. Now, after the signal has come to the input, here's how the signal flows. It flows from the input through the inserts, okay? So the signal goes from the input next to our inserts. And we have 10 inserts in Pro Tools. Most other DAWs are going to just copy that. So there's probably 10 inserts in the other DAW that you might be using too. So the thing to remember about the signal flow for our inserts is that that signal is processed from top to bottom. So the first point is going to be, in this case, the trim plugin, then the EQ, and then this compressor that I have on the track. And then if that signal, if there's any other processors, the signal is going to continue to run down through these inserts. Okay, so that's how my signal is flowing currently. After that signal is processed by the inserts, then that signal comes down to our fader, right? So our volume fader in Pro Tools is going to affect the output level of the signal, all right? This is going to affect the output level of the signal. Now, after we've changed the output level of the signal, that signal then runs out of the output. Now, in addition to having the output of the main track, we also have sends. Now, sends, think of sends as a duplicate of the output. It allows you to basically split this output and send that level to multiple different other places in your session. So instead of just going out 1 and 2, maybe I want to go to another output, outs 3 and 4 as well. I can do that. Maybe I want to send over to an internal bus to add some reverb processing. I can do that as well. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and show y'all that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a aux input track, and let's just name it reverb here. Most common type of processing. Right. I'm gonna insert a reverb plugin. Go with the deverb. Now, if I set up a send, again, this send is basically a mirror of the output. So it's the same thing that's coming out, except the ability now is that I also have an extra send level that I can send over. So I'm just going to go down and send to a track. I'm going to send to my reverb track, and Pro Tools automatically creates and names a bus for me when I do that. So now I have a whole nother output level that I could send, but this output level is affected by this track's output level, the volume fader on that track. So I'm sending over, this is going to send over to the reverb track. It's going to come in on the input, right? The same way it does. It comes in on that input, and then it follows the same train from the input through the inserts, right? From those inserts down to the volume fader, right? And then also we have the splits, right? Or our aux sends, our sideways extensions, right? Our auxiliary sends, which are our sends here that we can also split off and duplicate our outputs to go anywhere else in the session or outside of our interface that we need, okay? Now our output, ultimately, once we choose an output, if we choose a physical output on any track, it's going to come back to our audio interface. So outputs 1 and 2, this is going to be those two little outputs right there on the back of my audio interface. And I would typically take some cables from the outputs 1 and 2 and connect those to my studio monitors or a pair of headphones so that I can now hear and monitor and listen to what's happening in my Pro Tools session. Now, that's a simple home studio signal flow. I've broken it down. It really doesn't get any easier than that. I'm Wavy Wayne from WavyWayne.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit a thumbs up and share it with somebody, man. I'm sure somebody that you know needs to learn a little bit more about signal flow in their home studio, man. Y'all be dope.